one of the best defensive backs ever to play the game. Rod Woodson is with us. No stranger to the Super Bowl is Rod Woodson. Rod, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for joining us. How many did you participate in?
Three.
Three?
One, and lost two.
One, you lost with the Raiders?
Lost with the Raiders, lost with the Steelers back in '95, and won with the Baltimore Ravens.
One with the Baltimore Ravens. And let me ask you this. Which one was the most talented team you played on? That's a tough question. Most people, I think, would jump on that Ravens team, but
I would say the Pittsburgh Steelers when we lost.
Okay.
We had a lot of talent, but so did the Cowboys that year, and we lost to a better team that time.
Yeah, Bill Cowher coaching that team, and you, correct me if I'm wrong, that was the first time anybody made it back from a knee injury that in less than like a calendar year, right? Weren't you the first guy to do that?
I got injured 10th play of the first regular season game, and Bill Cowher graciously kept a roster spot open for me because when you went on IR, you stayed on IR. You couldn't come off of it. So he left that open for me. That was a window of opportunity. We kept playing good football, and I got to play in the Super Bowl not knowing that I was going to be in two more and win one later. But, you know, as a player, you just take every opportunity you can to play in one of these things.
Yeah.
That's a great opportunity. You want to be at the pinnacle of your career, or of what you do. You want to be the best at what you do. And playing in the Super Bowl and winning it and putting that ring and bringing that Lombardi trophy back home to your facility in your hometown means that you are the best.
Rod Woodson is with us, contributing to Westwood One's coverage of the Super Bowl. Of course, with our friends from Westwood One, we're bringing you Super Bowl 48 this Sunday. Rod will be a part of that coverage coming up this weekend. How precious is that Super Bowl game? You know, there are a lot of guys that haven't gotten there. You know, I know a lot of guys who played for the Chiefs, played on some good teams with the Chiefs in the Marty Schottenheimer years, and they never got there. You know, when you look back on it, does it shine as to how you know great it was to be able to get in three and win one?
Yeah, you know, I interviewed Champ Bailey.
Yeah.
You know, earlier this week. 15 years into it, and he's at his first Super Bowl.
Right.
That's how hard it is to get to these things. And I know, you know, you look at the Seattle Seahawks, they're so young, second youngest team to be in the Super Bowl. And I know in their minds, they think, well, I'm going to come back next year. We're going to come back the year after that. We're going to come back. And think about the Seattle Seahawks years ago when they went. Everybody thought they would be back again. When we went in '95 as the Pittsburgh Steelers, everybody thought we'll be back the following year or 2 years later. It just doesn't happen that way. You got to win every single year a different way in this league because teams will catch up to your systems and how the players play. You know, it's hard to do, and for me to play in three of them, I think it's special.
And for three different teams too, pretty cool. What stops the team? What happens?
Well, you know, when you look at the teams, first of all, free agency. It's hard to keep the team together.
It's hard to get that chemistry. I mean, chemistry is part of it too, beyond just talent, isn't it?
Well, chemistry is huge, and talent. Everybody has talent. That's the first thing Chuck Noll told me when I first came in this league in 1987. Everybody is talented.
Right.
All right, that's why you're drafted. That's why they're going to be free agents. That's why guys get picked up, and they're on a roster in the National Football League. Everybody in this league is talented, but skill and everybody playing together is completely different. And I think it's hard to do week in and week out, year after year, just for the fact you have free agency. It's hard to keep those groups together. And when you play good football, every team that wins, every player on that team that wins looks a lot better.
Right.
They look a lot more appealing to other teams, and they start plucking those guys off. And it's hard to keep that core together.
Does defense still win championships? I mean, that's the question we're going to get answered on Sunday, right?
I still think it can.
But it does. It's not a law anymore.
It's not. Well, it's never been a law, but it's always been a pretty neat saying, especially if you play defense like I did. It's a quarterback-driven league right now. The way the system is set up, the way the rules are set up today in the National Football League, it's very tough to play the position on defense. It's harder to play the cornerback position than play defense in general terms. But what Pete Carroll has done with that football team on the defensive side to make them competitors all the time, you know, I think it's great. And I think the answer to that question is going to be answered Sunday if the number one defense can beat the number one offense.
Yeah, and that's what, or it'll come down to the two units that no one's talking about. Seahawks offense.